The cameras were rolling, but the silence could have gone viral. You could slice the tension with a dull butter knife. Mona Scott, the woman who usually runs chaos like a pro, was storming toward the cast with eyes blazing like TMZ headlines. No one knew what she carried, just that it was explosive enough to end paychecks and careers in one hit. Mendeecees sat there faking chill, a plastic smile plastered on while his nerves screamed for help. The whispers, the after-hours gossip, the secret texts, it all hit the fan right there. And then Mona dropped it. Selma, the quiet one. The trusted one. The one who crossed the line. Betrayal, lies, and pure scandal were about to detonate on the Elho Forever set. But one question burned hotter than the footage. Who spilled the tea to Mona? And why now? The tension could power a season finale. As soon as Mona Scott entered, cameras spun, crew members froze, and Mendeecees tried to wear his fake calm like armor. But Mona's stare? Sharp enough to cut glass. She'd heard the whispers for weeks, but now she had receipts. A grainy, can't-deny-it video of Mendeecees and Selma, the production assistant, proving every rumor true. The room suddenly felt like it was shrinking, the air thick enough to choke on. Mona Scott didn't say a word. She just let the silence torture them, watching Mendeecees melt under her glare. Then, with one dramatic tap on her tablet, the tea spilled across the giant monitor. Grainy, yes, but oh, it was real. Late-night hotel meetups. Soft laughter. Selma's hand sliding across him like a bad decision caught in 4K. Every second screamed betrayal. And just when it couldn't get worse, Yandy walked in mid-playback, her purse slipping, her heart breaking right there on camera. "You," she whispered, pain cracking into pure fury. Mendeecees tried to talk, but Mona's voice sliced through the air like a headline in bold, "Don't even start." The truth's right here. Selma shook, tears threatening to spill, as the crew whispered and phones buzzed with gossip already brewing online. Mona stood tall, queen of chaos, unmoved, watching the empire she built tremble under one scandal. Hours passed in low arguments and sharp threats, and Yandy's rage finally erupted. She'd stood by Mendeecees through prison, trials, and public mess, but this betrayal? It hit harder than all of it combined. And now this. Caught on camera, a betrayal too bold to deny. Selma tried to speak, but Yandy's glare shut her down before a word escaped. Mendeecees sat hunched, face in his hands, replaying every stupid move in slow motion, watching his image shatter in real time. One assistant dared to whisper, "Should we cut the cameras?" Mona Scott didn't flinch. "No," she said coldly. "Let reality speak for itself." The silence was brutal. Betrayal hung in the air like smoke. Every eye locked on the trio, Mona, Yandy, and Mendeecees, as receipts piled high. Timestamps, messages, location tags. This wasn't just a video. It was a web of lies, manipulation, and reckless secrets. Someone had scripted this chaos perfectly, and now it was live. Mendeecees knew he wasn't just facing Yandy's wrath. He was on trial before the crew, the network, and a bloodthirsty public. Selma finally broke, whispering, "I didn't mean for it to go this far." But Yandy's voice trembled with rage. "You work for me. You eat from my table. And this is how you repay me?" Mona stepped between them, eyes cold, voice cutting. "This isn't personal anymore. It's business, and betrayal has consequences." "Professional," Mona Scott declared. "My show, my rules. Betrayal has consequences." And just like that, morning arrived, and so did the chaos. Short clips of the scandalous video flooded the internet like wildfire. Fans, gossip blogs, and armchair detectives went feral. Hashtags like "Darn Selma Scandal," "Cancel Mendeecees," and "Team Yandy" exploded across timelines. Phones buzzed nonstop. Reputations burned in real time. Mona sat in her office, calm as ever, sipping power and watching the digital storm she'd half predicted. Yandy, shattered but strong, had her tribe rally around her, while Mendeecees scrambled to rewrite the story, throwing out excuses about fake edits no one believed. Selma, trapped in the wreckage, became the internet's newest villain, while Mona, ever the mastermind, observed the fallout like a producer watching ratings climb. But then, just as the studio lights dimmed and the building emptied, her phone buzzed again. Another anonymous message. A screenshot hinting at more footage, more secrets, more betrayal. Her pulse spiked. This wasn't scandal anymore. It was warfare. Someone was playing chess, and Mona was already 3 moves behind. Leaning back, eyes sharp as ever, she whispered, "The story's not over." Somewhere in the shadows, the next explosion was already counting down. The world was watching, and this time, nobody blinked. The morning after the leak, the city didn't wake up to news. It woke up to chaos. Social media was on fire, flooded with clips of Mendeecees and Selma, chopped and captioned with the kind of judgment that trends for days. Fans were split in digital warfare, Team Yandy versus maybe he's not that bad apologists. Every comment section turned into a courtroom, every meme a dagger. Within hours, the scandal had left the studio and invaded the internet's bloodstream. The backlash? Absolutely brutal. Yandy's phone buzzed like it was possessed. Friends, family, fans, and total strangers all weighing in. Her sister held her hand, whispering, "You're stronger than this. Don't let him define your worth." But Yandy, trembling and raw, scrolled through the chaos, sympathy tangled with venom, and something inside her snapped into focus. She wasn't going to be anyone's victim. She'd reclaim the story. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was spiraling. His phone became a hotline of panic. Lawyers, PR reps, and damage control experts all calling at once. Every excuse he tried, "It's not what it looks like," landed flat. The receipts were everywhere, and the internet had already made its verdict. No one wanted to hear it. But Mendeecees kept mumbling the same line. "It's not what it looks like," as if repetition could erase the footage. Deep down, he knew the truth stung harder than the headlines. This wasn't just about his marriage. It was about his entire brand. His career, his credibility, the very show that made him famous, all dangling by a thread. Meanwhile, Selma was practically invisible, ducking cameras but unable to dodge judgment. The whispers backstage were vicious, crew members dissecting her every move, calling her reckless, ambitious, or worse. She even tried to post a statement online, hinting she'd been manipulated, but poof, gone within minutes. The street said Mona Scott had ordered her to stay quiet. The tension around the production office? Thick enough to trend. Inside her war room, Mona sat surrounded by her team, eyes glued to analytics and hashtag dashboards. "This isn't a scandal," she said, voice sharp as glass. "This is an attack on my show. People are calling it fake, scripted garbage. We need to shut this down before it kills the brand." Her assistant nodded, already typing up crisis statements, while Mona's gut screamed something deeper. This wasn't random. Every leak, every clip, every screenshot felt timed. Someone was pulling the strings. And by mid-afternoon, as if on cue, Yandy stormed through the studio doors, fire in her eyes, blowing past security like a woman on a mission. She burst into Mona Scott's office like a storm with perfect hair. "I want every file, every message, every video," Yandy demanded, voice trembling but blazing with fury. "I want the truth. Who set this up?" Mona leaned back, calm and dangerous. "I didn't leak it, Yandy, but someone inside our circle did. Someone we trusted." Yandy's tears hardened into fire. "Then find them, because if I do first, I'll expose them to the world myself." Expose them to the world myself. Meanwhile, the internet was a circus. Fans dissected every clip, every smirk, every old episode featuring Mendeecees and Selma. Reality pages on Instagram and Twitter posted leaked texts, adding fuel to the gossip inferno. Memes roasted Mendeecees, while hashtags like Archer and Team Yandy dominated timelines. Influencers added their 2 cents. YouTubers milked the drama for views, and the show, once famous for love, was now trending for betrayal. Backstage, the emotional wreckage was brutal. Kimbella grabbed Yandy's hands and whispered, "You have to show them you're not broken. Take back your story." And just like that, the heartbreak turned into strategy. Yandy nodded, wiping away her tears. "They won't define me," she whispered, though the sting of betrayal still burned beneath her calm. Across the studio, Mendeecees sat alone in the dim light, replaying every mistake, every whisper, every moment that led to this collapse. His mind raced. Who had leaked it? Who wanted him destroyed? As night fell, Mona Scott returned to her office, eyes scanning surveillance logs and internal messages like a detective on a mission. Her instincts screamed that someone on her own team had opened the floodgates. She replayed Selma's last moments on set. Something was off. A faint shadow, a phone that shouldn't have been there, an angle that didn't match official footage. Whoever did this wasn't sloppy. They were brilliant, calculated, ruthless. Then her phone buzzed. Another anonymous email. Subject line: "You're only seeing the beginning." Attached was a longer, more intimate video. Never seen, never leaked. Mona's pulse quickened. This wasn't over. The next explosion would be bigger, meaner, and far more personal. Her eyes narrowed, voice dropping to a whisper. The game's changed. And this time, I'm not playing defense. Part 3, Mona Scott had whispered, and she wasn't wrong. The next morning, the air felt heavy, thick with aftermath. Yandy walked into the studio, not to fight, but to finally face the wreckage head-on. She wasn't chasing drama anymore. She wanted answers, maybe even closure. Mendeecees was already there, slumped in a chair, eyes hollow from sleepless nights and public humiliation. When Yandy spoke, her voice trembled but carried strength. We need to talk. No cameras, no crew. Just us. Silence filled the room, loud with unspoken hurt. Mendeecees finally looked up, guilt carved into his face. I messed up, he admitted quietly. I broke your trust. I don't expect forgiveness, not yet. But I want to fix this. Not for the cameras, not for fame, for us. Tears gathered in Yandy's eyes, anger still burning beneath her calm. But there was something else too, a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could rebuild what fame and betrayal had shattered. They sat for hours, peeling back every wound, every disappointment, confronting the ghosts that had been hiding between them all along. Everything that had led them here was finally laid bare. They didn't sugarcoat a thing. Every lie, every secret, every stolen glance came crawling into the light. The truth hung heavy between them, uncomfortable but cleansing. When Yandy finally spoke, her voice was soft but sure. We need help, she said. Real help. Therapy, guidance, something to pull us out of this mess. Selma's role still loomed in the background, messy and unresolved. She approached slowly, voice trembling. I didn't mean for this to blow up like it did, she confessed. I got caught up. Ambition, fear, I let it control me. I'm sorry. Yandy's eyes hardened, but she gave a small nod. An acknowledgement, not forgiveness. Forgiveness never comes easy after betrayal, but accountability was at least a beginning. From the sidelines, Mona Scott watched like a silent architect, measuring every flicker of emotion. She'd already made the tough call. Mendeecees and Selma were banned from the show. The crew was stunned, but Mona knew protecting the brand came first. Still, she understood what cameras couldn't capture: the healing, the guilt, the human wreckage left behind. This wasn't just production drama anymore. It was real life, messy, painful, and raw. And Mona, for once, chose to let it breathe on its own. ChatGPT said social media remained ruthless, though the tone was shifting. Fans were now split between hope and outrage, dissecting every look and line between Yandy and Mendeecees like detectives in the comments. Some called for forgiveness, others swore the betrayal was unforgivable. The hashtag still trended, but a new story began to take shape. One about accountability, healing, and the brutal resilience it takes to rebuild in public while breaking inside in private. Even with therapy sessions and guarded apologies, tension buzzed beneath every breath. Yandy's strength was undeniable, but her eyes held caution. Mendeecees' remorse was real, yet haunted by the fear that words wouldn't be enough. And Mona Scott, ever the empire builder, stood watchful, knowing that reality TV lives where emotion and exploitation collide, and some scars never fade. As the city exhaled under the evening sky, the trio walked out of the studio, together, but not whole. Yandy offered Mendeecees her hand, tentative yet telling. Selma trailed quietly behind, burdened by the damage she'd done. Mona lingered at the doorway, eyes on the skyline, phone glowing in her hand. The final leak was still out there, unfinished. The mystery sender still in the shadows, and Mona knew the next move could change everything. The sender's identity remained a mystery, and the audience's appetite for chaos was bottomless. The night hung heavy, a fragile calm masking the storm that had passed, and the one already brewing. They'd survived the first wave, but survival wasn't the same as peace. Deep down, they all knew. Wounds might heal, but scars never fade. As the city lights dimmed, unaware of the private reckoning behind studio doors, one thought echoed in Mona Scott's mind. Some truths, once unleashed, never die. And in the ruthless world of reality TV, the next scandal is always just one leak away. Can you even believe what just went down? Mendeecees' secret, Selma's betrayal, Yandy's heartbreak, and Mona's explosive move. It's the drama shaking Elho forever to its core. Now it's your turn. Who's really to blame? Was this a cold-blooded setup or a chain of bad decisions gone viral? Can Yandy and Mendeecees rebuild? Or is this their final curtain call? Drop your hottest takes below, don't hold back. Every theory, every suspicion, every angle counts. Smash that like button if this scandal had you gasping, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next twist. Because trust me, this story isn't over, and the next reveal? It's about to break the internet. It's about to break the internet.